Good morning, class. I'm very sorry. I'm trying very hard from quite a few quite a bit of a time to come online. Somehow I was not able to on the phone. I'm not used to accessing Facebook on my phone, so it was difficult. Can some of you say hello to me, good morning, or something, so I can start my class? Yeah. Yes. Say good morning, guys. Hello. Good morning. Okay, okay. Who is there? Okay, I'll do my class. You can see later because I'm Yama. Good morning, sweet. Yeah. I hope you're fine, Yama. I'm very sorry. I'm trying very hard from about quite a half an hour I was trying. Then I came through I came through the icon. I went through Google to Facebook and it was not coming. Yeah. And then I came through, yeah. Ravish, good morning, good morning. Sorry, guys, from half an hour I'm trying. Okay. Now, I was talking to you about negotiations. Excuse me. How negotiations are very important in business and hello. Sepide, good morning. Good morning, sweetheart. Yeah. How negotiations are very important in, in business. Also, not only in business, in between countries also. I'll give you an example. There is a little fight going on for the waters of the river Nile. As you know, Egypt is what it is because of the river Nile. Egypt is called the gift of the Nile. River Nile is the only source of life for Egypt. And so, Egypt, what has happened? See, Egypt appealed to the United Nations Security Council to intervene in a deepening dispute with Ethiopia about Ethiopia's gigantic Nile dam. Ethiopia is building a dam on the river Nile. Because of this, Egypt fears that its water may be, less. Once they start, good morning, Gaurav. Once they start filling up the dam, it is possible that Egypt will get less water. So, Egypt fears that the Ethiopian dam on the river Nile would cut its vital water share. The move comes as tensions run high after multiple rounds of talks over the years. See how negotiations go on between Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan, and these talks have failed to produce a deal over the filling and operations of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Addis Ababa has declared plans to start filling the dam next month. So Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, they have said we are starting to fill the dam next month. Probably for them also it is monsoon like in India, I assume. So, regardless of whether a deal is reached with Egypt or not, Egypt views the hydroelectric barrage as an existential threat. See, threat to existential threat that could severely reduce its water supply. See how important are negotiations. This is a very good example to help you understand how important negotiations are. So, Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia, along with other countries, are sharing the waters of the river Nile. Now, what is happening is river Nile, Ethiopia is trying to build and has built a dam. So, because of this dam, they were in negotiations for several years. They have not come to a consensus. Bahar, good morning. Gangadhar, good morning. So they have not come to a consensus, and yet Ethiopia is saying, I'm going ahead and I'm filling the dam with water. So, what is going to happen? See, I want to tell you this is about negotiations. I'll stop talking about that case study. I'm proceeding further. See, I was telling you in production and operations management, that instead of having people manning the delivery and the stacking of items in the storeroom and stockroom and warehouse, people are having Kiva robots and drones to supply. Suppose I order some, say, 5 kgs of rice from my nearby Shilpi, good morning, from my neighboring shop, say it's at a distance of 500 meters, then they will not send somebody. They will probably, within a year in India also, they will send drones to deliver. Now there is one interesting concept. It says like this: as the world turns towards drones for deliveries, there is one crucial problem. Where are these flying devices going to recharge? So, Russian researchers have developed a solar-powered boat for recharging air and underwater drones. Yeah? It is a mix between a plane and a boat, it seems. It is a wing-in-ground effect vehicle, hybrid between airplane and a boat, which have short wings that dip into the water, creating a semi-enclosed cavity. Sorry. The boat is part of, okay. So they are going to have a semi-closed activity between the bottom of the plane and the water's surface. Alright. So this is one interesting thing when we're talking about Kiva robots and drones for supply. Whenever you order something, Pavan, good morning. Rosemary, good morning, Rosemary. So when Rosemary, long ago friend. Yeah, I hope you're fine, ma. Yeah, so we are talking about drones I talked about Egypt and the Nile, how Sudan, Ethiopia and Egypt are having problems with sharing. Good morning, Shridevi. Are having difficulty about sharing the waters of the Nile. Egypt is saying as existential threat to existence. It is a real threat to them, because somewhere I read over the centuries Egyptian civilization has developed and sustained itself purely because of the water of the Nile. Alright, so that is one thing. And the second thing I talked about is Kiva robots and drones. And the drones, where will they recharge? Where will they refuel? So Russian researchers have found something between a plane and a boat, which will be a refilling station. Alright. So I will go ahead. One thing you remember, before we go for in negotiations, what they tell is you have to have consensus during the negotiations period only. Please do not go to court, because once you go to court, the court will order that one party has to give the other party compensation. So apart from you know when, I know when situation, it's not win-win situation, you know when, I know when situation, it will come to the basics of, that you have to give compensation for wasting their time, effort, all this. Alright, so there we are. Many times it is said it is better to finish matters at the stage of negotiations only. See, one important case that I would like you to Google and understand is that which is going on between Samsung and Apple. Apple says Samsung has copied many of its designs. Alright? And but the strange part is Samsung is one of the suppliers of Apple. You understand? Samsung is one of the suppliers of Apple. At the same time, Apple is accusing Samsung of having copied some of its designs. So what will happen? All right, what will happen? So ultimately, Samsung has been ordered by the court to pay Apple $1 billion compensation, but another court subsequently brought it down, and the third time a court raised it some more. but it is not 1 billion, slightly less than a billion. Now, there is one interesting case study that I would like, a live case study that is going on, that I will discuss it today a bit and in my following classes. Class, China has been responsible for killing 20 of our soldiers. It is a heartburn for us. Nobody likes it. Condolences to them, to their families. Rest in peace, our brave Jawans. Yeah, our brave soldiers. Rest in peace. Condolences to their families. Now, one thing, everybody, there is a very big sentiment in our country as to ban Chinese products. Sadly, guys, see the foothold and the footprint of China in India is so much. I will explain to you that funnily we are holding Chinese mobiles and WhatsApping. WhatsApp also is from China, and Zoom is also from China. Using Zoom, using WhatsApp, which is from China, and handsets which are from China, we are saying ban Chinese products. Such is the deep footprint of China in India. Do you think China is only an importer of products? No, it doesn't end there. India is also a great exporter, big exporter of products to China. For example, if you remember, I told you before, I'll repeat again. Take simple things like marine exports, fish and prawns, shrimps, whatever, shellfish, fish. China imports so much of marine products from India. It is said because of the lockdown, only our fisheries, our marine products has suffered 3,000 crore loss. Forget others, only marine products. What about jewelry? India is the fourth largest buyer of gold in the world. We Indians like a lot of jewelry. But you think China is less? For example, one Jaipur producer says between February and April, February, March, April, 3 short months, 4 exhibitions in China were cancelled because of COVID-19. They have suffered a 10,000 crore loss. The jewelry business exporting to China from India has a loss of 8,000 to 10,000 crore rupees. 10,000 crores of rupees. It doesn't end there. If you look at the telecom and electronic industry, if you see the area near Gurgaon and all, there are lot of small industries. So I would like to, making mobile phones, etc. I would like to classify them as small players and big players. Big players come Reliance, Tatas and all that. Now Jio, all that. Now the small players for survival rely on Chinese products that they import and make the final product. Alright? They make the final product based on the components they import, less expensive components they import from China. Not only the small players, even the big players depend upon China for less expensive components for themselves. Thanks to the lockdown and COVID-19 rampage in our world, big players are looking towards more expensive components from Europe. But do you think our small players can afford these kind of more expensive components. As it is, small players have difficulty in survival. Think about it. Is it easy? Our hearts burn when we think of our soldiers at the LAC. But do you think it is possible to do that? To ban Chinese imports and stop exporting to China? We are also thinking of, we have to think of the other side also. I would like you all to make a research and think about it. Is it possible? See, several years ago, it seems, I was reading the Sunday Express yesterday. Several years ago, it seems, Chrysler and Ford, sponsored an event where a Toyota Corona car and one more Japanese car was kept, and Americans were invited to come and punch the car, saying it's an Asian product, we don't want the Asian product. The event was successful. People who wanted to vent their anger, I guess, came at what you don't know. We are all angry people. We are angry with our neighbors, we are angry with ourselves, we are angry with our family. Many times, this anger keeps boiling in us. You can see that when you see road rage on the road. For what people get together and hit someone else, I don't know what joy hitting another person on the road gives. But I just want to say, people came and they bashed the American cars. Chrysler and Ford had sponsored the event, saying American cars, Japanese cars, Asian cars, etc. But mind you, Americans did not stop buying Japanese cars because they were cheaper and they were more fuel efficient. So this is something that we have to think. We can say we can ban Chinese products. What about exports to China? Can we really ban? See, consumables, FMCG products, we can ban. We as a nation can work on it. Alright? But what about those who are, who are also not only who are dependent on cheaper components, not only that, also, do you know that where venture capital is concerned, China is one of the largest providers of venture capital to India. We have allowed China to come into the very fabric of our country. Is it easy to stop now? Is it easy? China is intermeshed, interwoven into the very fabric of our Indian economy. To take them out, to pull them out, like how, is going to be very difficult. And especially I'm talking not only this thing as this one also. See, it is said here in the Indian Express yesterday, Indian startups, hundreds of them, Paytm, Big Basket, Byju's app, are funded by Chinese investors like Alibaba and Tencent Holdings. How sad is this? How sad is this? Please remember that a marketplace, the demand and supply is a market, right? As please remember, the price and quality of the product and price of the product are big determinants in getting the market. Very big determinants. It's not of the love of the Chinese that we buy from them, but because we get cheaper cell phones. Yes? Will we consumers shift? China is the world's largest manufacturer of mobile phones, computers, and television sets, producing 1.8 billion units of cell phones. That is over 90% of the world's cell phones. 90% of computers, they manufacture 300 million units, I think annually. 70% or 200 million television devices. This is 2018 figures. And Chinese are a very hard-working people. They are a very hard-working people. They do not ask for 4-day week. They do not ask for 5-day week. They work. Why? I'll tell you why. China is run by a communist government. I read somewhere that when a foreigner wants an MNC, wants to come to China, bringing FDI, meaning, FDI means you go into China and you establish an infrastructure. You sink minimum of 10% of your investment in the infrastructure of that country. So, when foreigners offer China FDI, it seems the Chinese government will tell them, come, we will ensure that you will not have labor problems. Why? We are a communist nation. In our country, when we tell people come to work at 8 o'clock, they come to work at 8 o'clock. Go home at 5 o'clock, they'll go home at 5 o'clock. You said 10 minutes lunch break, they will take not more than 1 second more than 10 minutes lunch break. Does it happen in our country? Do we reach at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock to work as the designated time? Think about it. Chinese are a very hard-working people. And in 2018, if these figures are there, imagine 90% of cell phones of the world, 90% of computers, 70% of the television devices in 2018, certainly in 2019 they will have progressed even further. Yeah? Look at this. Bloomberg research has shown that 70% of India's imports of active pharmaceutical ingredients are imports from, the base drugs, are imports from formulations made in China. Okay? This totals pharmaceuticals is the biggest importer actually. It becomes out of 3.56 billion annual import spends by India. This accounts to 2.4 billion. Almost all of vitamin B12 supply and the important antibiotic tetracycline are imported from China. Not only that, Chinese firms share of Indian solar power generation. So India's solar power generation, in that also China has a finger in the pie. It is about 78%. So when we say ban Chinese exports, what can we ban? Ban Chinese products. All we can ban is FMCGs that we consume, durables that we consume, phone sets maybe. Yeah? Many of our Indian companies make the profit they do because they buy lower rate components from China. This is very, very sad. We are very deeply hurt with what has happened on the border. Our people have died. And that's why I'm talking all this is, we have to encourage, I'm not in a conspiracy against anybody, but we have to encourage indigenous products. That is why you, my students, should start entrepreneurship. That is why I brought to the department FIEO, Federation of Indian Exporters Organization. They taught you how to export, which countries want which product. Go into the website of FIEO and decide what you want to export to which country. Many countries require many kinds of different products from India. They need not be very expensive products. Someone in India is exporting steel wire, that mesh that you put on the instead of building brick walls, steel wire, that mesh he is exporting. So today, you as my students, why I'm talking about China is a difficult topic to talk for me. I'm not at all happy with talking on China. What I'm telling you is, you have to be anyone, Baryale, hello, whether you're from Afghanistan, you're from India, or any country that you're studying in our university, please think of what the government can do for you. No, what you can do for your country. As John F. Kennedy said, ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. What you can do for your country is stand on your own 2 feet and do entrepreneurship. And when you do entrepreneurship, encourage other indigenous Indians. We have one crab theory. I believe some country wanted crabs from India, Edi Minu from India. So they were saying, have a box with the holes, size of the holes, how much of water to put in the box, etc., etc., so that the live crabs could be exported to their country and they would be alive when they were coming there. They were not to be frozen. So the people in India laughed. They said they are Indian crabs. We can send them in an open box. You know why? When one crab comes up, other crabs bring down. No, we are not going to do the crab theory. We are going to become entrepreneurs and help our Indian others to develop. Buy indigenous products, buy indigenous components, help each other to become entrepreneurs. That is what we need in our country today. See class, I am finding it very difficult to hold my phone and do the class because unfortunately my internet connection has gone from yesterday. I struggled for half an hour finding those little buttons where you have the live video coming on. But at any rate, I didn't want, I know you all are at home and you're feeling sad and all. So seeing a friendly face, seeing your face of your teacher, listening for even 10 minutes will perk up your day. So that is why I struggled and I came online, but it is becoming difficult and I planned for more longer class. I'll talk about one more small thing and I'll stop. I've been telling you about the loss of consumption of fuel leading to loss in the great decrease, fall in the prices of crude oil. Also, I want to tell you that cars will be in less demand. I wrote an article, I circulated to you all, I hope you have read it. I was talking to you about consumption of essential items. Fuel being an essential item. Fuel for your private car or fuel for the bus, for the train, for the airplanes. This is an essential item. Fuel as an essential item has lost its consumption. That is why world markets had fallen. Now, currently, what has happened is there is a domino effect. I also mentioned there that consumption of not so essential items, like maybe a car, tomorrow is going to be a luxury item. A car which was from luxury item becoming an essential item again is going to become a luxury item. And rising, I'll read this from Sunday Express, rising fuel prices may delay purchasing decision of consumers. Now you'll ask me, ma'am, you just said crude oil has fallen. Why the purchase price of fuel is up? I explained to you in my last class, there are taxes, there are transportation costs, etc., etc. Now, if someone has incurred, see, there is no place all over the world because the fuel is not being consumed, all the storage capacities are filled, oil tankers are waiting at ports all over the world to empty the fuel. probably they are emptying the fuel now. All right, but this differential of holding the fuel has a cost, holding cost. And then whatever differential, everybody is facing higher prices of transportation, every higher price. So all those prices will fall on the fuel. Ultimately, rising fuel prices will rise now. Rising fuel prices may delay purchasing decision of consumers. It is evident in the following falling auto sales numbers across segments. See, we have realized that we can do without some things. When in the lockdown period, so many things we thought were essentials, we realized are not so essential anymore. So we have stopped consuming them. You see, our purchasing patterns have changed. Our decision models have changed. Our priorities have changed. Till things come to normal, and probably then we will have the markets open and our salaries safe only and incomes regular. Only then maybe it will take some time. Nobody can predict how much time, but then maybe you will have. So what is going to happen with the auto sales? All right. So with this, as I told you, I'm finding it difficult to use the phone for the class, but I'm glad that I managed to take at least a short class. Thank you, class. I'll say bye. Keep cheerful, keep smiling. Now about China and whatever I've said, give it a thought, and we will have discussions as to how is it possible, etc. Only academic decisions, no other sentiments involved. And once again, rest in peace to our soldiers who died. Condolences to their families. Small children they have. Our hearts go out to you, families of soldiers. Our rest in peace and condolences to you once again. Okay. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.